Okay, so in part one, we covered why they're leaving. In this episode, we talk about how data cleanup, client communication, non-compete concerns, transition logistics. They're less than 2 weeks from flipping the switch when we recorded this. And if you're considering a move, this is the part most advisors don't talk about. Let's get into it. So then as you're evaluating, so you're looking at tech, you're looking at then marketing, you're looking at compliance. Am I missing anything?
Fees
for
the clients, for us.
Right.
Yeah.
It's important.
It definitely has to be a win-win, and we're really looking for a place that we could lower our fees, if even slightly, from where we're at, and improve potentially our payout. That's a winning scenario for our clients and a winning scenario for us.
So you narrowed it down, you had the conversations, you made your selection point. Where are you guys at in the process?
We are less than 2 weeks out. We have a lot of the data uploaded to the new, to the third party that's helping us do some of the paperwork, making the transition a lot easier come the switch. Once we can, it's already kind of in. A lot of our data gathering has been completed or, close. We've started to tell clients along the way, we're kind of that final little push of what do we need to make sure we have before our other systems go offline.
So then one of the questions with where you're at in the process now, a lot of times when someone's making a transition, there's non-compete concerns with your former broker-dealer. Any issues there?
No, we don't see any issues with the non-compete. What we ended up doing is we contracted with a third party. So the firm that we're going to is not actually receiving the data until the day we flip the switch and make the transition.
Okay,
this third party can retain everything and put it into a format that they can send it over to our new broker-dealer on the day of affiliation and make things happen so much quicker.
Nice. Okay, so one of the big challenges then. So, one, you'll have a little disruption there, which will be interesting. We can talk about that in a second.
Sure.
But what about, do you have a plan laid out for letting people know? Because you're going to have to go on that, those conversations with clients. Do you have that all mapped out?
We do.
Yeah, some of my clients I've been telling. They work with me. They work with our name, not the back office. So I've just been telling them. Here it comes. We filmed a little video to put in an email so they can hear it from us if we haven't got to talk to them one-on-one, just explaining what and why and what to expect here, and please sign your paperwork soon.
Yeah.
So that should really help.
When it comes to your client database, anybody getting left behind, or are you taking everybody?
I had made a transition about 5 years ago, and I really was able to clean up my book at that time. I did acquire a practice 2 years ago from an advisor where there may be a handful of accounts that either don't make the cut, or I push them down to Harrison. No offense.
No, I'll take him.
He'll take all comers at this point in his career, and at this point in my career, I won't.
I know it is always a good opportunity. There are those client relationships where when the phone rings and they're on the other end, and you're just like, oh God, I'd rather be anywhere, and that's the opportunity right here to maybe help somebody find a better broker.
Sure. Yeah. Usually in the back of my mind, it's the flip side. Is on day one, you start out with 0 clients when you flip that switch, and that's the nerve-wracking part. But then as you start talking to people, they really don't. They understand who we are as a firm. Like, who is your back office? Who are you clearing through? They don't really understand that portion of it, even though we've explained it multiple times.
And I would imagine that I would wonder how many people actually care.
Right.
Because the relationship is the two of you, right?
Correct.
Yeah, that's fascinating. So as you look back, let's do a time machine. You get to go back 7 months. So you said you're doing this about 6 months. Started this in earnest 6 months ago. 7 months.
Yep.
You guys get to sit down and hey, I am Brad and Harrison from the future. Let me give you a couple pointers. What advice would you give yourself?
Start on the spreadsheets now. The data gathering, clean some stuff up. We should be doing that at all times anyways, having some of our CRMs clean and good, but you really notice where the gaps are once you start to make a switch.
Nice.
Once the broker-dealers find out that you're looking or in the hunt, they're going to come at you with all kinds of crazy offers. And
Yeah.
there was a lot of big checks that were being offered to be thrown my way. I think you really want to have the core of what your business is and where you envision your growth to come from and where you want to be in 5 or 6 years. And you got to pick the right firm based on that.
That's a good point.
I still wake up in the middle of the night thinking of some of the checks I've turned down. But it's temporary because I know in a few years that would be obsolete and I'm going to be doing so much better with the choice that we made.
Yeah. I would be worried. You mentioned a good thing about it. What's the chance of the new firm or whoever's offering the check getting acquired by somebody else? Because you could end up in a situation where the terms of the deal might be changed by some asterisk that's buried down in that contract.
Sure.
And then one thing that I've learned through the course of business is that you can be right, and if you're going to court, you could also be bled to death
Right.
by the bigger firm. All right, so what pieces of advice? You get the opportunity, big audience here, ton of people who are registered. What advice would you give them if they're pondering this?
Have your top few things you care about. We didn't go with the company offering the biggest check or the lowest fees or this and that, right? We kind of found a nice blend of everything we wanted all in one. Just know what you want and what's important to you.
Nice.
Yeah, and I think along those lines, it's you find the right firm that's the right fit, and also I want to work with somebody that I enjoy working with, on the client side and on the BD side, and so the relationship that we chose, it was just a really good feel. It was a good gut feel, I think, from the very first meeting, and every conversation has just reinforced it from the person that pushes the mail around the office, to the president or CEO. Everybody's just been great, and so we're really excited about the transition.
Nice. Well, we'll do maybe in about 6 months to 12 months. We'll have to do a follow-up.
Okay.
And see how things are going, see how things went.
We might change some of our previous answers.
Yeah,
Right?
Some of our advice might change.
It totally might, because it's there are those things that you forget. There are those things that maybe you're like, I wish we would have talked a little bit different about that. But I wish you guys nothing but success. I am excited for your transition, because putting thought into it, making this decision, and knowing both of you, you're both intentional. And you're making a great calculated choice here. So with that being said, I thank you for being on the podcast. We will have you guys back on. We'll get you in here again. And for everybody else, thanks for being here. If you get a chance, I would appreciate it if you would like or subscribe or follow the show. That way you're in the know whenever we drop a new episode. Also, feel free to drop a comment. If there's any topic you want me to dive into, I would love to hear it. Any constructive criticism, any mean criticism, I'd love to hear that too. I like to read it. So
You'll take it all.
I'll take it all. Just bring it. So with that being said, thank you so much, and we will see you later.